for GateWorld.net. I'm David Reed. I'm here at GateCon 2008 with Mr. Gary Jones, technician Walter Harriman Davis, Walter Davis, Norman Davis. There was the other one.
Sergeant, Master Sergeant,
Senior Master, Chief Master Sergeant.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. In fact, I got to the point where I finally got T-shirts made up.
You did?
Yeah. You should check them out in the room, and they are. I just had this flash. I thought, okay, this is so much like the evolution of man, and I titled it the evolution of Harry Man. Right? So you'll see it. You'll see it when you have a look at it.
Oh, sweet!
And what it is like, you know, that classic the illustration of the monkey turns into the man.
It gets bigger and bigger. The silhouette.
The silhouette turns into Homo sapien. Well, it starts off as the chimp. The monkey is just underneath says technician, and then the next one says Sergeant Davis. Then the next one says Sergeant Norman Davis. And the next one says Master Sergeant Norman Walter Davis, and then the last one, and the four, of course, are man, you know, walking upright. Then the fifth one is a silhouette of me at the computer, and so and then it says underneath that it says Chief Master Sergeant Chief Master Sergeant Walter Harriman.
Walter Harriman, which wasn't confirmed until Atlantis. Interestingly enough, the episode Home, where you say your name over the comm.
Is that right?
This is Sergeant Walter Harriman. Yeah.
Oh,
and it was in a dream sequence.
I've actually said my own. Actually said my own name. See,
that's right.
I lose track of these things. All I remember is that in the episode 2010, Richard Dean Anderson named me Walter.
That's right. Your first name was but I mean it was slid. The last name slid all over the place. And my buddy Darren and I were thinking, what, we have to explain the last name. So for a guy, how do we do that? You know.
Well, I actually have the explanation for Harriman. That a lot of people don't know. It was the late great Don Davis was delivering a line, and it was written in the script as he referred to me as Airman.
Airman?
Yeah, because I'm an Air Force guy, right? And of course Don's drawl, open the iris, Airman. Right. And after the scene was over, it was like, did Don say Airman or it? It's weird. It sounded like Harriman or
Harriman.
And next thing I know,
that's where that came from.
That's where that came from. Don Davis's pronunciation of the word airman turns into Harriman, and I'm Walter Harriman. It was like the most sort of like patchwork, piecemeal way of.
I never thought of that.
Of getting my name together, and of course in 2010, Richard goes, you know, he calls me Walter, and everybody goes, well, his name's not Walter. He goes, well, it is now. So that was it.
You know, you mentioned radar. I wonder if he got that from MASH. You know,
I have no idea. He didn't reference that when he did it. He just said, he kind of looks like
you look
Walter.
like a Walter. Yeah,
that's what he said.
Right.
And so they were all scrambling around changing the scripts and going, it's because his name's Walter now. And I'm just like sort of the innocent, you know, like a drive-by naming.
Exactly.
Like that's all it was. I was like the innocent victim of whatever.
Tori Higginson, like one of her last things that she did before she departed Atlantis, she named Chuck. Technician Chuck.
Did she?
She gave him a name, and it's his real name too.
Yeah.
But he looks like a Chuck.
I know.
So that was perfect.
Guy too.
He is. Yeah. We interviewed him. He's like you guys passing notes, the technician notes,
yeah.
Walking down the studio from each other. How's it going over there?
I was on Atlantis
How's
the
my
other
gate
day.
room doing?
I was on Atlantis the other day, and he walked by me at the breakfast truck.
You were on Atlantis the other day?
Yeah, I did an episode of Atlantis.
All right.
So that'll be upcoming, and then I'm on the final episode.
Okay. Yeah. They just shot. They're working on Identity right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not the one I'm on.
Okay.
I was on the previous one.
Can you tell us the episode name?
No, I can't remember it.
Oh. Okay.
It's like it'll be like the second to
Brainstorm. Vegas. Enemy at the Gate. No, that's not up yet.
No, you know what? It actually might be Identity.
Okay.
I think it might be.
Okay, because they were shooting that 2 days ago. So, sweet. So you're back.
If they were shooting that 2 days ago, then that's the one I was on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Don recently passed away.
Yeah.
A month before his final movie came out, Continuum.
I know. It's like, oh my God. Like, I know I got a call from Peter DeLuise. And he goes, "Oh, I got some sad news." And you hear that news, and I was like, oh my god, and clean bill of health and.
I know,
and
that's
everything.
the strange thing.
Yeah.
66.
Yeah. And a clean bill of health and my god, and I worked with that guy for like.
A long time.
Like 7 years for sure. Yeah, because Rick became the general in year 8, so I worked with Don from like day 1, 7 years. And I remember when he met me, when I met him, I introduced myself, and he goes, "Oh, I'm Don S. Davis." I forget how much he weighed. He was like 235 pounds or something like that. He goes, "I'm 235 pounds of romping, stomping Missouri bullshit."
That's how he introduced himself?
That's how he introduced himself to me. 235 pounds of romping, stomping Missouri bullshit.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, who is this guy?
And you spent just about as much time with him as all of SG-1 did.
Yeah, we always used to say, even Don is so funny. As much as Don worked, when we wrapped each episode, he'd go, "When are you working?" Like he didn't.
When are you working?
Yeah, he'd go, "When are you working?" Because he'd go, "Are you in the next episode?" Because he knew that more than likely if I was working, he was working.
Right.
Because he didn't know. Right?
You lived in his domain.
I totally lived in his domain, and I had no idea. I was really I was on a day-to-day, episode to episode. Had no idea. I could have been in like every episode or none. And I just used to get the call going from my agent saying, "Oh, are you the next episode's from here to here? Are you available?"
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Don working? Is Don working? If I'm working, Don's working.
That's right.
If Don's working, I'm working. If I'm working, Don's working. It was like we were always like that because it's like the actors are, they're still an insecure bunch, because it's like. You're on a show, and suddenly then it becomes about like how long is the show gonna last? What am I gonna do after that? And
as soon as it's done, you're back to the breadline practically until the next one comes along.
Yeah.
The life of an actor.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You're here at GateCon once again, pleasing audiences the world over.
Yeah.
What is it about these fans that you enjoy coming back to year after year?
Well, it's just like a cultural phenomenon that if you haven't been to a con, it's just you can't kind of like understand it. It is it's like a big love-in. They all there's a common bond which they all love the show, and then all the actors kind of like have a blast. They really have a good time. I've gotten to know so many other actors through doing conventions because my part on Stargate was limited in a way just to the control room, right? So I wouldn't. There's lots of people who played like aliens and wraiths and this and that and other, that they would go to other planets and see, and I didn't even know who these people are. And then I end up on a convention, and with so and so, go, "Who's this guy? Oh, he played this, king, or he played this alien or whatever." So it's pretty cool. I get to actually meet other actors, and it's really fun. I mean, this GateCon in particular, I find there's just a great energy. People are having a good time. I mean, the city's beautiful. Vancouver's
it's gorgeous.
So everybody kind of takes on this collective kind of like, it's like a big love-in, and
people are on vacation. Some of them went whale watching the other day, and then they get to do Stargate on the weekend.
I know. I mean, I did a convention in North Carolina, where I basically people go, "So what do you think of North Carolina?" And I go, "Well, the hotel lobby's lovely." Like I was there, I flew in, I was there, and then I flew out. So I didn't get to, unlike these people who fly to Vancouver and just they book off like a couple of weeks or a week.
It's their vacation.
They're
it's their
walking
holiday.
around. They're going to Stanley Park. They're biking. They're blah blah blah. They're going all this stuff, So everybody is in a really good mood.
And they get to spend an hour with Gary frickin' Jones.
Gary frickin' Jones.
Gary friggin' Jones.
Don't rename me. Don't give me another name.
Sorry.
Because I can't handle that.
Friggin' Davis. Friggin' Harriman Davis Walter dude.
Chimp technician.
Are those shirts for sale?
They are.
Oh, I'm going to get one.
They are for sale.
Mom, I know I wasn't going to spend too much money, but I've got to do it. Starhole.
Yeah.
What is this phenomenon?
Starhole?
Yes.
Well, it's actually...
I'm not going to tape it, so can you tell us?
It's actually Starhole SG-1.5. And
Pardon.
Yeah, and it is the brainchild of myself and Dean Haglund.
Your buddy Dean Haglund.
Because we've done Star Trek shows together. Way back when we were improvising in Vancouver, we did a show together where I played Captain Kirk and he played Spock.
That's where your Kirk impression comes from.
Yeah, that's right. And so he played. So I played Kirk, and he played Spock. And so we just said, well, let's just do them again, and let's just because the thing about conventions is they're always looking for something different. You know, the fans are always like, they want to be entertained. I found that every time I've gone out there to chat with the crowd, they're, I guess. I don't think they're interested in, my acting technique and blah blah. They just want to hear the good stories and the fun, and that, like, they want to laugh. Mm-hmm. So Dean and I said, why don't we just create like a little show, and because our background is in improv, we just did a really loosely structured show, mm-hmm. and that we would fill in the blanks with the improv. So in other words, we come out and we do a really super low-tech version of Stargate. I still play Walter in my flight suit. Mm-hmm. Dean plays Amanda Tapping because he's got the blonde hair and the sport bra. And and this is the best part. We get the audience members to play everybody else. So we get people out of the crowd, and we tell them what to do. And so somebody is O'Neill, somebody is Daniel Jackson, and then they all get killed off. They all get killed off on the mission, right? And only only Sam Carter comes back and says, Walter, you have to come back on the planet with me and like save them. So we go through the Stargate together, and then we, there's a possible romantic thing, but it's with Dean, so it doesn't go too far. It's pretty funny though. It's pretty funny. The crowds go mental. So we've sold like a huge amount of tickets for this thing. People are just like coming to it tonight. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Okay.
And there'll be DVDs after, so you'll eventually. You can get a copy of the DVD, and so you'll be able to see the show and talk about it.
But because of its framework nature, it's a little different every time.
Oh, absolutely. Because first of all, we don't know what kind of people that we're going to get from the crowd, mm-hmm. and plus we fill in the blanks with the. We ask them to fill in the blanks, like what's happening on the planet, what's the problem on the planet, and so whatever we get from the crowd, that's mm-hmm. what we improvise around. Mm-hmm. So the show, the loose structure of the show stays the same, but like you say, the content changes a little bit each time. But it was totally fun. We just the time we did it in Atlanta, we were just basically standing there. It was like they were like just telling joke after joke after joke. The mm-hmm. crowd was just like so into it, When
mm-hmm.
when we started the show, and I just sat down in my chair and I just started going Chevron 1 Encoded.
Yeah.
Chevron, they just went nuts.
Yeah.
They just went nuts because they were actually like.
And
I forget about this, I truly do. I forget about this.
You made an icon.
They're like, we're in the room with the guy who's doing. I'm like, and the reaction was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
That's
right. I gotta
right.
admit, it's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's great for me. Yeah.
In Lost City, there was a scene with that Rob Cooper wrote where Walter was sitting with Emmett Bregman, the documentarian, and Walter's explaining his job.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like
that's
pretty
Heroes.
What did I say? Lost City?
Lost City,
what is
yeah.
it with me? I know this stuff. Heroes. He was explaining his job. Open the iris, close the iris.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel sympathy for this character? Like, man, he needs a girl.
Oh, I laughed so hard when I read that script. I just killed myself laughing. I was like, finally, this is now the writers completely having fun with my character. Because he goes, so he settles in, he's like, okay, so tell me what you do.
I thought it was going to reveal some secret thing that he did, much more complicated,
Exactly. Well, when I read the script, I saw that he was really talking to the other characters about what goes on.
It's very important to him.
It's really important. And then he goes to me, "What do you do?" And I go, "Well, I open the iris, I close the iris." And he goes, "And what else?" That's pretty much my job. You got to know that to deliver lines like that, it's just gold. It's just the best kind of. And Andy Makita, the guy who directed Heroes, my buddy, Andy was I could see Andy behind Saul Rubinek, and he was doubled over, and he was doing one of those.
Yeah, and
he was
trying
laughing.
not to distract you,
oh,
right?
Yeah, and and then finish the scene, and he's like, "Cut!"
So you got it.
Oh yeah. So they're all laughing, and it's just playing it so deadly straight. And plus, the other element, if you go back and watch that episode. You'll notice that when I'm talking to him, I'm glancing at the camera, and that was an element that I didn't realize until I started filming.
No, it makes it perfectly real.
That wasn't on the page.
Yeah,
on the page,
the camera's actually
words.
there this time.
Suddenly, it's the video camera, and I'm like, like kind of like, is this okay? Should I look into the camera? And Andy was laughing at that because then I looked, Walter, who basically opens the gate and kind of runs the joint, is now nervous, and oh my God, it was so much fun to do that scene because like the writers were like, oh, let's just goof around,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you miss coming in week after week? Do you miss SG-1 being around?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I mean, I didn't come in week after week. That was the thing about out of 200 and so episodes, I did like 102 episodes. I did half the episodes, so I wasn't in every week, but I was in enough that it was just like, this is a great gig, and so I miss work. I got to experience working on a show where you're completely comfy with the crew, completely comfy with the directors, because really Stargate, they brought like Andy used to be the production manager, Martin Wood was an AD, and now even Will Waring, you'll see his name. Will was like a camera operator, and they loved him so much, and he was so good at his job. Of course, the next time he negotiates his contract, it's like, well, I'd like to direct an episode because he's been around it enough, and so of course Will directs an episode, and then they're like, oh, that was great. So then he gets more. So now Will's in the mix. You know what I mean? So it really is this kind of like it feeds up. Right?
It's a school.
It's a total school, and. And one thing I learned about, and I would tell other actors in town too, I go, if you come into Stargate and you do a good job and they like you, they'll guaranteed they'll bring you back because there are so many storylines, so many histories and cultures and this and that, that Alex Zahara's done like 7 roles. I mean, a lot of it in prosthetics, but they just keep bringing him back. They go, oh, play this female waitress, play this, play that, and he just comes in and does it. So it's like. He hit the jackpot, you know what I mean? Like, as an actor, he got to do a million different things, and so if they like you, they bring you back because you make their job easier. They go, well, I know we can do that, so
why break what we know works?
Why break what we know works? It's like, so that is fantastic to have a creative crew that responds that way to the acting talent. It's awesome.
Completely. Yeah. So what are you currently working on? Any movies on the horizon that we need to keep an eye out for?
Like I said, I just did a couple of episodes. I just did an episode of Atlantis, and I'm in the very last episode.
Okay. So and at the Gate, which is production number 519.
Yeah.
Unless you go to Vegas.
No.
Okay.
Are they going to Vegas?
They're going to Vegas.
No, I'm not going to Vegas. I don't think so. No, it would have been great. I got married in Vegas, so. Yeah.
Sweet.
The Graceland Chapel of Love.
Oh.
My wife given away by a rather large Elvis.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was great. Later. See you later. And so, no, I'm not going to Vegas, but, great to be on the show, right? And what else am I doing? Then I'm working on a show. It's a pilot for Fox. It's a comedy, a 1-hour comedy called Mistresses, and I don't know if it's like a soap opera send-up kind of thing, but one of the main characters is a soap opera star, and I'm one of the producers on that show, like the show within the show.
It's like that British Extras.
It is. It's like Extras, but this show was actually based on another British show. I read, yeah. So anyway, I'm doing that, and I've got a pitch for a show idea in with the movie channel up here that they kind of like, so they're looking at, and then I'm writing a book.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell us about the book.
I told you that, didn't I?
But not them.
Yeah.
I have to remember that. This is information they don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm writing a book. I decided to write a book because I don't know. It's just kind of like my sort of take on life and the stuff that's happened to me, and I was encouraged to do that by my wife because she just said, you just look at. She likes my writing and she's like making her laugh, and so I just finally said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna sit down and do this. So I've been doing it. Well, I've just been plugging away at doing that.
Anyone who's watched you at these conventions knows that you're a great storyteller, and
so that's the thing.
Solidify some of this.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's actually the challenge for me in that respect is to take that storytelling technique or whatever I create on stage and see if I can actually put it, create it on the page and see how it goes. And so far, I mean, my wife, she reads and reads and reads, and she's a pretty good editor. So she's been reading my stuff, and she's going, oh yeah, this is really funny. So at this point, it's literally a matter of volume, right? It's just quantity now. It's just like getting enough stuff that I can put into a manuscript and send off and go, hey, it's like the kind of writers I like are like David Sedaris, who just, I mean, I don't know if you've ever read any of his stuff. It's very funny, and he just basically writes about his life, but it's hilarious. He just has an interesting take on things, and he just writes that take on things. So I thought, well, maybe I'll give that a go. And there's another guy, a travel writer named Bill Bryson.
Bill, he's my favorite writer.
All right, so it's a la Bill Bryson.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's, I'm in a situation. Go, that was weird.
His slice of life.
This is my take on an odd little moment. So that's what I like, because I have that, all the time. Whenever I experience these things, I go home and I tell my wife and I tell my friends. I go, oh, you won't believe what happened, and then it's like, then it's out there, right? So why not put it on the page?
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, if your blogs are any indication, it's going to be hilarious. Are you writing it with anyone, or are you just writing it
just
yourself?
me.
Okay.
Just me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Gary.
Yeah. I mean, my sense of humor is that gets very. I have a writing partner who I've written like shows with and creating, trying to come up with show ideas. And I told him I was writing it. And he got all excited because he was like, oh yeah, like it's just absolutely you should be doing that. So yeah. There you go.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. That's going to be
Thanks.
great.